Hi, good evening everyone. Today we will be doing some RC questions. These RC questions are from previous year CAT papers, and we'll have three passages today. So let's begin with the questions. So here is passage one. Uh, I'll do one thing. Let's go first to the questions. Yes, on the left hand side you see the questions. Uh, just take a screenshot of the page, and while solving the passage you can get to and fro between passage and question. So just take a screenshot, then I'll move to the passage. Yeah, I hope everyone has taken a screenshot. I'm moving to the passage. So this is the first passage. uh, you have 10 minutes to read it, analyze it, then we'll discuss the questions. So I hope everyone is done with the reading part of the paragraph. Is it so? Anyone who is still reading, please respond. Okay, so we will wait for 1 more minute for a few of those who are still reading. Then we'll proceed. Okay, now so let's begin with the questions. Discussion part. See, the paragraph uh, uh, talks about two things. It talks about the subject of the painting and its connection to the freedom of the artist. So basically, the author says that in the times when the society was secure, there was many restrictions around. The artist could select subjects very easily. However, as the freedom of artists have grown uh, in the later part of century, that their freedom to select subjects did not percolate. Their freedom to select subjects do not percolate into selecting of tangible subjects. Instead, they went on to select abstract topics, which is generally seen as a tactic to create uh, anything uh, which could be figured out easily, so they might be questioned upon their subject. So basically, what the author is saying, as instead of uh, creating more tangible subjects, the author has moved away from creating subjects to abstract topics, and the whole paragraph discusses that. So let's look at the questions. The first question says, when a when a culture is insecure, the painter chooses his subject on the basis of one, prevalent style in the society of his time; two, its meaningfulness to the painter; three, what is put in front of easel; And 4, past experience and memory of the painter. The SIL, here the word SIL, it basically means the stand on which a painter puts a blank sheet of paper and does painting. So yes, what are your answers for the first question? Okay, so let's discuss the first question. Here, look at the last paragraph. Last paragraph, first part. It is said, it is written, by the end of 19th century, there were, roughly speaking, two ways in which painter could meet this challenge of deciding what to paint and so choosing for the society. Either he identified himself with the people and so allowed their lives to dictate his subjects to him, or he had to find subjects within himself as a painter. So this line gives you a key to the answer for the question, for the first question. And another thing that you have to look at here is this in the second last paragraph, first line. When a culture is in a state of disintegration or transition, the freedom of artist increases, but the question of subject matter becomes problematic for him. Himself, he has to choose for the society. So basically, uh, since the since the painter is choosing his subject for the society, uh, and combining it with the first part of the last paragraph, we see that the painter is creating the subject for his audience, uh, for the people. So so basically, the main confusion would be between option 1 and option 2. Option 3 and option 4 are, uh, as clearly indicated in the paragraph, they can be rejected. But between option 1 and option 2, see, uh, its meaningfulness to the painter, its meaningfulness to the painter does seem like a valid answer, but there is a problem with it. Huh. So look at the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth paragraph. Fifth paragraph, second part. Uh, it says the subject may have a personal meaning for the painter or individual spectator, but there must also be the possibility of agreement on its general meaning. So it means the subject of a painting may or may not, this part. So it says that the subject of a painting may or may not uh, have a special meaning for the painter, but it must have a general meaning, so on which the society can converge and find a meaning in the painting. So its answer would be the first part, the prevalent style in the society of his time. Here is the solution for this question. Okay, so mine is asking, when the culture itself is insecure, how can a painter bank upon a prevalent style? See, when the culture is insecure, it is not that it does not have any style. The problem is that since it has too many styles, the painter does not know which subject to choose. Okay, so that's why he goes into abstract mode of painting. Okay, but uh, say uh, in the paragraph you saw the Aztec example, Aztec and European Renaissance example. So let's say the modern society does not know anything about those, but the painter has a very personal feelings for Aztec civilization. So he paints the Aztec painting. So the painting will not be very well received because the society as a whole cannot connect with the painting. So uh, just a second. See, the key differentiating thing is here. The subject can ha can have a special meaning for the painter. He can select his own style, but the thing is that it should have something in common with some of the prevalent styles in the society. So that's why we select the first option, not the second one. Second one might be true, might not be true, but the first one has to hold. Okay. So, okay. So let's look at the second question. In the second question, the author says, I believe there is a connection in the second paragraph. What two developments is the author referring to? One, painters using a dying hero and using a fruit as a subject of painting. Two, growing success of painters and increase in abstract forms. Three, artists gaining freedom to choose subjects and abandoning subjects altogether. And four, rise of impressionists and increase in abstract forms. Okay, so let's discuss this question. The question, the line about which the question is asked is the first line of the second paragraph. It says, is there a connection between two developments? So basically the answer to this question has to be before this line. So the answer must come from the first paragraph. Now, if you look at the first paragraph, uh, the first line says the painter now is now free to paint anything he chooses. That means the painter has gained a lot of freedom now. But the second last line, it says, yet by the next generation, painters began to abandon the subject altogether and began to paint abstract pictures. So basically, these are the two connections that the author is talking about. The part of impressionists here, it is impressionists are just giving a reason for the what is happening happening with about this subject of the paintings. So it is not the connection between impressionists uh, and increase in abstract forms that is being talked about. So the answer would be third option, which says artists gaining freedom to choose subjects and abandoning subjects altogether. So here is a solution for the question. It's not really a solution. It says it just says reading the first and second paragraph courteously takes us to the answer choice 3. Okay. So let's move to question 3. The question 3 here, it says, which of the following is not necessarily among the attributes needed for painter to succeed? 1. The painter and his public agree on what is significant. 2. Painting is able to communicate and justify significance of its subject selection. 3. Subject has a personal meaning for the painter. And 4. The painting of subjects is inspired by historical developments. See, the way to choose this answer for the question 3 is choose the option that is directly violates what the paragraph has said. Okay, so in this answer you'll find a lot of answers that violate what the paragraph is saying in an indirect way, but you have to select the one that violates what the passage has been saying in a direct manner. Okay, so let's discuss the question. See, in this question, you can find a lot of things that step is against what the paragraph, what the passage has been saying. But for example, the fourth option, it says the painting of subjects is inspired by historical developments. Well, if you see, it is in a way against the spirit of paragraph, which so what we have to look for here is directly what opposes this paragraph directly, and we'll again go to a sentence we have seen before. This sentence. This sentence is the subject may have a personal meaning for the painter or individual spectator, but must also be possible. But much, but there must also be a possibility of their agreement on its general meaning. So, and what the option 3 says tells us that the subject has a personal meaning for the painter, whereas the paragraph says the line says the subject may have a personal meaning for the painter. This means it may have a personal meaning or might not have a personal meaning, but there must also be there. This is a necessary condition. There must also be a possibility of their agreement on its general meaning. So while the second part of this sentence is a must, the first part of the sentence is indicates a possibility. It might be true, it might not be true. So, uh, so we'll say that option 3, the subject has a personal meaning for the painter, does not hold. So here is the solution. So let's move to the next question, the fourth question. It says in the context of paragraph, which of the following statements would not be true? One, painters decided subjects based on what they remembered from their own lives. Painters of reed and water in China faced no serious problem of choosing a subject. The choice of subject was a source of scandals in 19th century European art. And fourth, agreement on the general meaning of painting is influenced by culture and historical context. So if you look at the third paragraph, second line, it says a subject does not start with what is put in front of easel or something which the painter happens to remember. Okay, so and looking at the options we have, we see that the first option uh, directly contradicts this sentence. So the sentence says that uh, the subject is not what a painter happens to remember, and the option says painter decides subjects based on what they remember from their own lives. So option 1 would be the answer for this question. Here is the solution. Okay, so moving to the fifth question. It says which of the following views is taken by the author. So it is basically a simple question. It should not take more than 1 minute to answer this. Okay, so let's discuss the answer for the question. See, the basic thing here is uh, when a society grows more insecure, there is a greater freedom for the artist. This fact is corroborated as it says that by the end of 19th century, things it talks from Renaissance to end of 19th century, and it tells the subjects began as the society became insecure. The subjects, the freedom to choose subjects increased. So in the second last paragraph, in the last paragraph, more in the second last paragraph, uh, the fact is mentioned that as as we progressed, the society grew more insecure, and the artists became more free. They had more freedom to choose subjects, and hence it will be the first part of the question, first option of the question. The more insecure culture, the greater freedom of the artist. So you can also use the example of China given. So it says that when the culture is secure and certain of its value, it presents its artist with the subjects. This means that the artists are presented with limited subjects. When the culture is insecure, that the culture, it can be used to derive that when the culture is insecure, there is a lot of the artists have a freedom to select from a lot of subjects. So this is the solution. Alright, so let's move to the next paragraph, next passage. I hope this will take a shorter time than the first one. So, okay, so let me just put it in a way that it is visible on both the pages. And in the meanwhile, you can start reading the paragraph. Okay, so is everyone done with the reading? Okay, so we wait to 1 more minute, then we move on to the questions. And if anyone has problem in understanding any phrase or meaning of any particular word, they can ask me. Okay. So first, let's see the structure of the paragraph. The paragraph begins with explaining that human beings love stability and do not like changes too often, and then it moves forward to say that it is often said that it changes permanent, but the author says that they are mere cliches. The true thing is that people change in order to survive, to avoid being wiped out. So if the incentive to change is survival, then these changes will happen very few times. Then author moves forward, saying that change is overrated and gives us a few examples, like the automobile, the airplane, which is that not to, the with the amount of investment, human hours, and the money investment in these things, the changes have not been too huge. Uh, then uh, then the author moves forward and says, uh, in the final paragraph, it says that uh, not only uh, once the changes come, they stay there. They also become less and less efficient all the time. So, for example, think of an airplane. So it is said that the technology is there so that the aeroplane can fly without a pilot. But most of the passengers would be too afraid to go in a plane, which no one is really flying. In other words, which a computer would be flying. So that way it is the people are averse to change, and the change does not really happen, and we are stuck with less efficient systems. So the author gives an example of the German auto companies creating an electrical design for cars. So here are the questions. The first question says, which of the following best describes one of the main ideas in passage A? Rapid changes are usually welcomed in society. B. Industry is not innovative as it is made out to be. C. We should have less change than we have now. and D, competition spurs companies into radical innovation. Okay, so let's discuss. If we look at the first option, uh, rapid change is usually welcomed in the society. This is not what the author told us in the first paragraph. The author tells us that in this society, people are averse to change and change only when they have to in order to survive. In option B, industry is not innovative as it is made out to be. So this fits with the paragraph. We can see in the automobile example, which is considered very innovative, but the author explains that in a past century or so, the automobile industry has not innovated in very significantly. In option C, we should have less change than what we have now. The author is definitely not saying this. In fact, he wants the society to be more accepting of the change. So, because uh, the change will bring in more efficient technologies in, rather than staying fixed on a particular inefficient technology. And D, competition spurs companies into radical innovation. The passage nowhere talks about the competition, and if it talks anywhere, then it says that the kind of small innovations that we have is hindering uh, new entrants into automobile industry. So that is not really relevant here. See, Manmeet, the author never talks about the competition as a spurner for the innovation. And if the author says in fact, the term radical innovation is not being talked about anywhere. For example, the author says that development of automobile for the Ford was a radical innovation, but it was less because of competition than uh, an innovation in itself. About the CEO statement of IBM. See, the author says the statement, but in this paragraph, the author is trying to contrast with the truth with myth. So, author says the myth is that people always say change is permanent, and they always say we have to change, we have to change. But really, people change. Uh, this part, if you look at it, in reality, he says people only change when we have to survive. So if you are going to if you are going to change in order to survive, then radical innovations are really not possible. You'll innovate incrementally just to the point you are you have to survive. So let's say if you have a competitor and it has a more efficient technology than you, then you innovate just to the point. You have a little more efficient technology than your competitor. That will not result in a radical change. So I hope I have cleared you out. Okay, so moving to the next question is question 2. According to the passage, which of the following statements is true? Executives of automobile companies are inefficient and ludicrous. B. Ludicrous means crazy. B. The speed at which uh, okay, so ludicrous means more stupid than crazy. B is the speed at which is driven in the city has not changed much in a century. C. Anthropological factors have fostered innovations in automobiles by promoting use of new technology. And D. Further innovation in jet engines has been more incremental. Okay, and I did miss this one. I missed to show you the solution to the question. For the question 1, here is the solution. Okay, so let's discuss the second question. In second question, we have to see which one of the statements is true. Now, second option says first option says executives of automobile companies are inefficient and ludicrous. Well, it is not that they are inefficient and ludicrous, but they are averse to changes, and they are averse to change because their consumers are averse to change. So let's say if a company comes up with a very exciting idea of a new car, if the consumers do not want to change from their existing automobiles, the company cannot do anything in that. So in fact, there are examples where some automobile organizations did come up with better ideas, but it did not go forward because uh, the society as a whole did not accept those ideas, did not want to change from their existing technology. So people have society's aversion to change is the reason. So it would be wrong to say that executives of automobile companies are inefficient and ludicrous. Option C, anthropological factors have fostered innovation in automobiles by promoting use of new technologies. If you look at it, this option uh, violates the tone of the paragraph. The tone of the paragraph is that anthropological factors like tribalism are against the change, and while option C says fostering means and promoting, to nurture and promote. So option C says that anthropological factors have helped in innovation in automobiles, while the author says the opposite, that anthropological factors have been the reason that automobiles have not developed very significantly. So option C is incorrect. And the option D, further innovation in jet engines has been more than incremental. Now, the author says that the changes that has been there in jet engines is incremental, has been incremental. There has been no radical change in the way the jet engine technology is used. Uh, Again, section D, option D is violates that point. It says that the innovation in jet engines has been more than incremental. So we reject option D. Option B, which says that speed at which automobile is driven in a city has not changed much in a century. So if you look at the paragraph where the author gives the example of automobile, it says that the here it could safely do 18 miles per hour, and in 2001 the average speed in the city was 17.5 miles per hour. So this shows that the speed of automobile has not changed very significantly over the years. So option 2 is the right answer. So this is the solution. Now let's move to question 3. It says, which of the following views does not author fully support in the passage? 1. Nothing is as permanent as change. B. Which of the following views author does fully support in the passage? B. Change is always rapid. C. More money spent on innovation leads to a more rapid change. And D. Over decades, structural change has been incremental. Okay, so let's discuss this one. The author, the first option is nothing is as permanent as change. So if you look at it, this is the part in the second paragraph, first line. Nothing is as permanent as change, but The author goes further to say pithy expressions to be sure, but no more than cliches. So author does not believe in these things. It says that it is something which is said just for the sake of being said. They are not true really. Hence the first option is not correct. Option B, change is always rapid. Again, uh, author says that here in this way change is never allowed to happen too fast. So that means we can also reject option 2. Uh, Option C, more money spent on innovation leads to more rapid change. And if we see the automobile example, where he says that in auto industry had spent tens of billions of dollars on research and product development in last 100 years, and he further explains that still no significant development has happened in automobile industry. So that means we can safely reject option 3 also, because more money spent on innovation does not lead to more rapid change. And option D, over decades structural change has been incremental. So this is what the author has saying, that so whatever are the changes, they are incremental, largely cosmetic changes. So this is the view author fully subscribes to, and hence option D is the correct answer. Option 4, according to the passage, the reason why we continue to be dependent on fossil fuels is that A. Auto executors did not wish to change. B. No alternative fuels were discovered. C. Change in technology was not easily possible. And D. Automobile, sorry, German, Japanese, and French companies could not come up with new technologies. Okay, so sorry, I had muted my mic. So in question 4, the first option, sorry, the second option is not possible because the industry had an alternative fuel that was in the form of electricity, and in option C, change in technology was not easily possible. Again, they had developed an electrical design for a car, so change in technology was possible. D part, German, Japanese, and French companies could not come up with new technologies. So this is again incorrect, as we have seen that the German, Japanese, and French companies did come up with new technologies, but it was the auto executives who did not wish to change. That's why these changes were not incorporated, and we continued to be dependent on fossil fuels. So option A would be the correct answer. Here would be the solution. So actually I wanted to do 3 paragraphs today, but I think we do not have enough time. So what we'll do, I will show you the question, the the passage and the questions. You can read the paragraph, and next time when we come to the class, uh, we can discuss those questions directly. Okay. So just give me a minute. I'll show you the questions, show you the paragraph and the questions. You can take a screenshot of it, the passage and the questions, and we'll use it when we come to the next class. Yes, I would uh, I would put up the solutions at the MindWorks forum. You can take the solutions from there. So this is a passage. Just get a print screen of this, and then I'll show you the questions. Here is the question. So guys, that was all for today's class. I'll see you next week. Thank you everyone.